Wednesday edition that I didn't think we were doing. I thought you were going to be in L.A.
Some complications came up. I'll find out tonight at about 9 p.m. if I'm going or not.
You gotta maybe go and then have to come right back.
Yeah,
that's a long flight, man.
Which
that flight messes you up too.
So you knowing me, right? And you're knowing that I'm gonna get a conference call. We're on a conference call at 9 about me flying out to LA.
Yeah.
What do you probably think?
Well, you're not going.
Oh, okay. Yeah. As long as everybody realizes that
there's not a Spirit Airlines available right now.
Yeah.
There's not a Spirit Airlines for James to go spend 2 G's on shoes.
There's a 30% chance that it might happen, but if you're a betting person, lay the money on me relaxing and chilling in my bed, especially after, some of the stuff especially after my last couple of days. But then again,
I love the Super Bowl. I do. I love the Super Bowl. I'm one of those guys that's like, I still like all the stories leading up to it. I'll dial in, Sunday at as soon as I get back. So probably 1 or 2. And then I'll sit there all the way through. I'll watch every commercial. I'm excited about the halftime show, which I never get excited about.
That's you want to know the real reason why I'm really there's that 30%? It's the halftime show.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, it's just I get it. Mary J. Blige is just this my age group, right? African American. That's that's your mom. That's my mom and my aunts. Right there, they had the haircut, the man with the little short, the bob little thing going on. That's the only reason I'm going. The only reason I want to go is I want to be able to sit in the press box and listen to Mary J. Blige.
Oh, you have press tickets to the game?
That's what they're trying to right now. Clarify is the.
Well, if you can do that, then you should go.
Yeah,
because then you're going to be there for 4 days. I was saying if you're only going to be there for a day or two, it's a
long trip,
a horrible trip back. The trip there's okay, but
it's the one back that's really that gets you because you gain 3 hours.
Dude, I used to have to do that every other week. San Francisco, my previous life. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, no, it wasn't fun. Mary J. Blige, I'm good. Okay, let's get her part over with. I just want to see.
I get, but you know what, in today's climate, people will rough you up because everything that a white person says that could be deemed negative about a black person is rough. But I'm with you.
Right.
I'm not finna go up there and actually I probably would. I probably will embarrass people just for one song. I would sing "I'm Going Down." That's an iconic song. Besides, I'm not finna be doing the "In the Dancery" and all that other stuff. But what other artists are performing?
Eminem, Dre.
Dre.
No.
Dr. Dre is performing?
No,
he said Dre. He said Dre. Yeah. So I was
No.
Okay, if they do Guilty Conscience, I would be very excited about that. Snoop's performing?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I just, with all due respect, Miss Mary, can we?
This is giving me because this might get us right into our non-sports topic because I might have to fuck up my kid. The reason why, no, I'm saying I was coming back to coach Trey's game, but that's cool for his childhood and his development. But right now you're telling me
you're reliving your childhood.
I'm reliving my childhood on the West Coast
on a Super Bowl.
I can hear Dre Day. I can hear Let Me Ride. I can hear, I'm not just talking about when I was actually living my son's age. I'm not talking about 8 to 10. I'm talking about my high school too with Eminem and Dre.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
If they bring 50 Cent out, then that permeates into my college.
They said there's a surprise, right? They have said that. They said there's a big surprise. So, Kendrick Lamar.
All right. I'm cool. I'm okay with that. It's only 2. I think me and Miles were talking about this one time. There's only 2 Kendrick Lamar songs I just really, really like. Or maybe more, but some of them I can tolerate. But I like The Recipe and I like Swimming Pools. But outside of that, all the other stuff, I'm all right, man, cool. If you, I can't remember the first time, not the last time, the first time I've been in my car and be you know what, man, let me stop listening to this. I'm gonna bump this Kendrick. Same thing with Eminem. I can say the same thing with Eminem, but Eminem was that Marshall Mathers LP.
Oh gosh,
for me,
man.
That was my first year in high school.
Eminem,
that was crazy.
But see, here's the difference. Eminem, you may not say that, but if you hear an Eminem song, then all of a sudden you're gonna go, "Oh, I want to hear."
I want to hear when
you know what I mean.
Was it Stan? when he was writing the letter.
Yeah.
But I do want, and I'm curious to see because it's the Super Bowl, it's the theatrics that come with, and how what's impressive about the concerts is how quick they get in and out of the different things. The only one that was weird was the Weekend last year, like
with the mirrors.
Yeah, running around in the mirrors, like that looked like I was like, dude, what's like that's freaky. That's freaking me out right now.
Yeah, and I was drunk.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is going on?
Oh, the Weekend is weird as Halloween on a full moon.
Yeah,
Friday.
Yeah, it's and then last year's Super Bowl, I think that's what I'm excited about. Last year's Super Bowl still had like that whole COVID thing hanging over it.
Fair.
And I understand COVID, like I understand it's still here. Y'all don't, but it doesn't feel the same now.
I'm also, now that you say it, like I do want to go see that. But now that I think about my overall Super Bowl experience last year was dope because I got to do it. But like right now, they're not even doing live interviews until Friday. So like going out there, like everything, I could do that from here, like most of the stuff. And nobody says anything in press conferences that are really like noteworthy.
Right. I feel like if you're at the press conference, you're wasting your time. You should have been at a party or a beach.
The parties are really why I will be going out there. And I don't know if I have like the parties in the Super Bowl halftime show. Nothing sports related is really what's going to get me out.
The only bad thing is you won't get to see the commercials.
No, that's true.
That's the only bad thing. But yeah, I am a Super Bowl junkie, man. I love it. I'll watch literally every single second of it. I think we're ordering wings.
Going
to Pops. Nope, going to Kim's, my sister's.
My plan was coming back. I'll be at Goodfellas. So if you want to come hang out, come to Goodfellas.
Oh, nice.
You know, if you ain't been there yet, just come through. Come hang out. Trust me.
It's a great way. Great place to watch football at too. Awesome.
The most safest place with no security that you'll ever feel.
There's security.
No, I'm saying like no trained security. One of the comedians made a joke like, yeah, man, you know, ain't no bodies over here. My guy was like, I was like, that laugh was like, yeah, that they found. but yeah.
There's, you don't want to get out of line there.
I tell all my friends that come in, they're like, James, I said, bro, this just ain't the place that you want to like trust me, dog. Like this is not who you don't know.
Just want to have a good time.
Just have a good time, man. It's like you come in here try to rough this place up, it ain't gonna end well for you.
No. We've seen video.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean the game is the game. I mean, we talked about this the other day. Jamar Chase versus Jalen Ramsey. I want a separate camera. Like how they do those things for national championship.
Mic'd up.
Is Jamar Chase a trash talker?
I don't know, but it's just I would have loved to see Jalen mic'd up the last game. He didn't play bad. He just got bested a couple of times, and you don't see that often. But like he was like,
he's still doing that thing though, where he's doing
the sulking thing. Where he's talking about coverage.
Yeah, he's still doing that.
Yeah, it's like like one of my friends always says, "Oh, well, he's in cover 3." I said, "No, the team is in cover 3.
Right? He's in man.
Jalen's in cover. Jalen, whatever Jalen feels like running at that moment, some hodgepodge between man and cover 3.
Is it gonna hit him at some point of? I could be one of the best to ever play if I'll just not have these. I'm gonna call them moments of greed. Like, and it's not often.
Yeah,
it's not often. It's like
gonna go like right
one every 3 games.
You can't speak of anything with certainty, but let's just be understanding and clear. If he continues on this trajectory, he's going to go down as one of the best.
Oh, no doubt.
Play.
Yeah,
but you're right. Like the only flaw in my game, but the problem it's wild because it's only one. And this is no disrespect. This isn't big enough because anybody who's listened to our show, my relationship with this one guy that I'm going to speak about, and it's complicated. But I respect how great he was. Deion Sanders' one downside was, especially, and it caught up to him toward the end when he lost the step, is I'm so talented, I'm so much more athletic than everybody else that I'm going to bait your quarterback into making a bad decision. A guy I played with, Antonio Cromartie, was notorious for doing that because he could. Like when it looks like the guy beat him, he's so fast, this covers so much ground, he knows he can make up for it. And Jalen, though he's not 6'3" like Cromartie was, he's right at 6 foot. Oh my bad, I almost had a Joe Rogan moment. He's got really long arms. Like he can like scratch his.
He's
a Shaq moment. Like he can scratch his kneecaps without bending over. Like he's got those. Your body ain't. If you don't know what I mean, stand up and see where your arms stop at.
Right.
And just know that Jalen's goes about half a foot more than yours, and then just think about what that kind of reminds you of, and you'll be like, oh, okay, now I see where he's coming at. But that's a great athletic gift.
In the 7 years, we have never mentioned this, and in the last 3 shows, it's been the topic of conversation.
It's just, that was actually
in 7 years. We've never one time talked about a monkey.
Right. So, we talked about one time when Kai was coming around. I said, "Don't give me monkey gifts for a kid because I don't like it."
That was 2 shows ago.
No, I said it when Kai came out. We had a convo like about that.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, but it was actually that was my argument for somebody on Twitter. I was like, I've been doing 7 years of radio, and you can't find 70 shows that you got, and I'm supposed to be allowed to say these things, and you can't find 70 shows where you can delete. Now there's probably about 500 shows they should delete, but it's not because of anything like a racial epithet or anything.
Well, not that racial.
Well, yeah, not that
race.
You could be offended. Trust me, this is a show that you could be offended by.
Just real quick for the record, we didn't give Kai anything with a monkey on it, did we?
No, you didn't.
I just make sure that's not wasn't directed at me.
No. It was no, because it's
tell Angie keep them backpacks away from him.
I've had to check his doctor on it too, and I love it. I absolutely love our doctor. And he doesn't mean anything by it. But he was just like one time he was just like, "Oh man, you're just a growing little monkey." I'm like, "Hey, Doc, we don't do that around here, Doc. Don't get fucked up on accident." It was really
right. I hear you.
I know he, as comfortable as he says that, he's probably said it to all. He says it to all the kids, but it's just the context.
Right. It's just funny how we get into little areas here.
But you're right. We've
never talked about it. Get to ABC for the Super Bowl. Oh, hold on just a second. Get to ABC for the Super Bowl. Don't go anywhere else. Get to ABC. Get for the good stuff. Like go. I'm on a Four Roses kick.
Four Roses is good.
Yeah. That's a good Super Bowl drink. Really good Super Bowl drink. It's whiskey. It's bourbon. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good drink. I don't know what the weather's going to be like on Sunday. Is it going to be cold again?
I don't know. I think probably. I don't know, man. Like our Florida cold.
When did we move to freaking Kentucky?
I don't know, but the last decade we've had just really good winter weather, and this is aggravating.
This is terrible. Awful. We've had guys in from Maryland for the last couple weeks, and they're like, "It's colder here than it is there."
That part.
Like, maybe moving to Miami then. Get to ABC. Everything you need. Get a couple cigars. Celebrate one way or the other. Pick a team, pull for them, and then go from there. I don't really care who wins. Angie asked me last night. She likes she always likes the underdogs. So she likes Joe Burrow. She likes the fact they had the first pick in the draft 2 years ago. So she's pulling for them. But I'd like to see Jalen win one just because of the affiliation I have with his team. But outside of that, I really don't care. I mean, local favorite, John Wolford's on the Rams.
Really?
Yeah, he's the backup.
Okay,
yeah,
Johnny.
He's the backup there. I think there's 5 Gators in the game. I don't remember who they are. There's at least a couple of.
Cincinnati has the kicker, right?
Yeah.
And then 72.
Van Jefferson. No.
No. Van Jefferson.
Yeah, and then there's a punt returner, Brandon Powell. I don't remember. I don't remember all 5, but Florida State obviously has Jalen. They have anybody else? 3.
Yeah. Jalen, Cam Akers,
I forgot about Cam.
Auden Tate on the other side, but I don't think Auden hasn't played.
I wonder what Cam's carry is going to be. We talked about this last week, man. Can you trust him in the Super Bowl?
Now. I'm sorry.
That sucks, man, because he's so freaking good.
Good. Like, don't knock on him. Like, you know what? I can't trust him carrying the ball. Mm-hmm. But like, if there's like a way to get him involved in the passing game, I wouldn't be as afraid to get him.
Is he better than Sonny Michel? Not.
I don't know.
That's his backup.
That's my problem. Is like a running back's job. It's like the description is in the title. Like you know,
run.
Yeah. Like wide receiver. If you just wrote that down and gave it to a novice, what does a wide receiver do? Okay, that's a good question. Let me
right.
Running back.
They
run. Like what does a running back do? It runs. It's there. Like, but if you can't, I can't trust you to run, man. I don't know what I gotta trust you to.
So the hot topic of conversation on all the shows this week on like ESPN, excuse me, and stuff like that. The way the Rams built their team with no draft picks. Are we headed to that? Is the draft overrated? I mean, you obviously have to have a draft, but what I'm saying is like, do you really build your team through the draft, or do you build your team through, second contract guys? Because apparently the salary cap doesn't exist in LA.
It does. Well, actually, no, my bad. It doesn't exist anywhere, really. Like, it's just it's a set of. I saw T-Wig put this up. They were talking about bringing in Amari Cooper over because he'll be a free agent, and they're like, I don't know about paying somebody $20 million a year to blah blah blah. And he said that's monopoly money, and it's all the per year cost is a farce. Like, there's so many you can give more money up front, like in the signing bonus, you can put it on the back end. And then even when you put it on the back end, you just restructure it to you're just moving the money around.
Why are some teams getting away with it? Like the Saints are about, for the second time in the last 10 years, it's about to hit them again.
I like it. I liken it to having a good account. So there's people who have, like, you might make the same amount of money. You may decide to do TurboTax because you feel like everything is cut and dry. Mm-hmm. And that I do, use my accountant name's Hal. I go to Hal, pay him a couple $100, and Hal figured out how to give me an actual income tax return.
Right.
And you're sitting there like, wait a minute, I just paid $20,000. How the hell did you get that? It's just my guy either knew the intent or like played to the echo of the whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so yeah, he stopped, but like, there's a little gray area here. If we get audited, we can prove it, but just make sure you have your stuff in order, or it's the other way. You don't run the risk of having any headache later on. Eventually, I think it will catch up to teams like the Rams because you can't keep doing it. But when I look at who they're who they're getting, it's guys with like 6 years that are proven commodities. And they're like, well, all right, we only going to have this guy 3 to 4 years. If they retire, you good.
Well,
it's not if they get cut and have to move on, you're not.
And I say that, but perhaps maybe, and just hear me out on this, the best player on their team this year, not overall, this year, they drafted in Cooper Kupp.
Yes.
Like the most productive.
So to use that, though, it's not that the draft is overrated. It's first and second round picks are overrated. It's where Caldwell was good at. Like
your boy.
Yeah, my dog.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm gonna holler at my guy in a couple weeks. But like the middle of the draft is really where you build your teams. That first and second round pick, you got it. Yeah, like you got just as good of a chance to go try to get somebody else. That's proven.
Was Kupp third?
I think he was like a third.
Yeah. I mean, we've been told forever you build your team through the draft. That's obviously not the only way to do it.
But even like the Patriots.
Yeah, I was going to say Patriots, yeah.
They got guys. They just technically they did. And what I mean by that is he was like Bill Belichick would go have a conversation with if I remember, Bradley Chubb. So who was the stud back then? He's like, I know I'm not drafting. You're not going to be available, but I'm watching you intently because when you're available, I might see some things that you match up. So they're using the draft as an early player personnel look to see if, okay, well, this guy does have Patriot traits.
Yeah.
What the Rams are doing is just saying the Rams are doing free agency the way that God intended it when he made Madden football. And they added that. You worth $20 million. I'm going to pay you 20. I'm going to get all the best players from everywhere. And we're going to figure out how to maximize the salary cap every year.
Yeah.
And I think that's cool. I have no idea how it works, but I think it's cool.
Well, we keep saying, how's it going to end? But I feel like we've been talking about the Rams being at the end for about 4 years. 4 or 5 years, we've been talking about, well, they're not going to be able to sign anybody this year. And then they go for sign Stafford. Like, they're not going to be able to sign anybody next year. And then they go sign Von Miller.
That was wild.
It's like, I don't know how they keep doing it.
What's going to be fun is if they win it this year, is how many, like we already saw the copycats from hiring Sean McVay's staff early. Like, will their front office be the new copycats? Will we see more of the league doing these things? But the bigger thing is this: is they got one diva, two diva. They have three divas.
You talking about Beckham and
they got Beckham and all everybody said. Well, I remember when Beckham was available from New York, and I made the comment we should bring him here to Jacksonville. And Mia O'Brien reminds me every week about how I said the content we would have if we would have just brought those two. They would be fighting each other in practices and then buying purses in the town center afterwards. It would have been great. But everybody was like, well, they can't coexist. You can't do it. Just shows what winning does to culture. Like, they won, and Jalen's outbursts are, I'm in the heat of moment and somebody gets beat. Like, that happens all the time. You get like, hey, Tom Brady just did that the other day. I don't really know of one time OBJ has done anything this season that's been crazy. And they literally tried to put all the blame on Cleveland on him. And he's flourishing once he got out of that bad situation.
The other one that's interesting for the Rams is Eric Weddle. You know, Weddle was coaching high school football.
Oh, okay. Or
no, Pop Warner football. And they had an injury at safety, so they called him, and he's come back. He hadn't played in 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you just shocked me. I'm like, I haven't heard that name in a minute.
He's balling, absolutely balling. And they asked him, they were like, okay, what are you going to do this? He goes, no, I'm retired. He's like, I'm going back to coaching Pop Warner. So they really just leased him for like 5 games. And I mean, if there's a guy that you do that with, is somebody like him.
That's a veteran that has some familiarity that doesn't take, like, even Von Miller. It took Von Miller a little bit to actually find his flow.
Well, and even the locker room you just talked about, that don't mess with Eric Weddle. Like, he's seen it all. He's been in so long. Like, he's like, okay, kids are gonna be kids. I'm just gonna go over here and ball. Not gonna get involved in that.
And Ndamukong Suh was on the team not too long ago. Like, not this one, but I'm just saying, like, they have. And Sean McVay is a young coach, which is ironic because, like, he's done a really good job of bringing in dynamic, tough personalities, and they've all kind of just gone with the flow.
There was an interesting rumor about him the other day that made me think, and I don't believe it's true, but they were saying if he wins, he may walk away, Sean McVay, and get into broadcasting. And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know what?
It's less stress.
At his age, he could become this next generation's John Madden. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't. I know that would be. I wouldn't be mad at him because, I mean, what's Romo getting, like $16 million a year?
I was gonna say you're crazy until I thought about, like, we said, what did we say? We knew he was making more than 10, right? Urban.
Here. Yeah, we thought. Now I'm hearing like it was 7.5. Yeah.
He wasn't getting paid. Like, bottom line is, we know college coaches are getting paid a stupid amount of money. NFL coaches, we can assume, get paid more. Less of them. Billionaires don't have to worry about some of the hangups you got to worry about.
I said that same thing the other day, and somebody told me that you'd be surprised.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then that wouldn't surprise me if he does go into broadcast, because if you told me,
I'm sure guys like him and Belichick are probably doing pretty well.
Well, I'm saying,
the guy told me the other day that if, like, some of the new coaching hires, they're probably 3.5, 4.
Really?
Yeah.
If you told me, James, I'm going to pay you $12 million a year to coach, and we know you love coaching, we know you love the game, blah, blah, blah. All right. And I'm going to be in the coaching tree and the wheel is searching, blah, blah, blah. All right, good. Let's go here. Let's do this. But then NBC calls me. Says, James, you know what? We know you like coaching, but we know you love the game. What if we paid you $13 million and all you got to do is just talk about the game once a week? 10? They told me even 10. But
if you go 12 coach and you got to grind it.
James, here's when we need you. We need you from August to February. We're going to give you a break that first week of February. But we're going to need you there. We don't need you there the whole week. You show up the whole week of the Super Bowl if you want to, but we literally need you to fly in on Friday.
Yep.
No, Saturday.
You just got to be prepared.
You got to be there Saturday to do some prep and then to go see some of the players. And then you show up and you do your job 1 p.m. on Sunday or whatever day. It's consistently 1 p.m. And then you fly out and live your best life.
Well, you got to start prep for the next week. But yes.
Right. But I'm saying, like, I would be like,
I'd take 10 over 12 all day.
I'm going to take the 10. the frequent flyer miles, because I'm going to put in either you're putting me in a PJ, or I'm going first class Delta. Which
of course.
I say Delta because I love American, but Delta's first class is just something about the chairs, man. They're just a lot bigger and it feels good. But whatever. My point is that you're gonna be.
I'm negotiating a wheels up deal.
I mean, listen, you gonna have to. I don't need you to give me more money than what I'm getting paid. Actually, no, because you already make it. Because everybody lives in Florida or Nevada anyway.
Yep.
So you're gonna live in a state where there's a tax shelter. So now I've already probably made close to that by not having to pay state tax.
Yeah, that's true.
And then 2, I'm gonna negotiate some in-kind, which was funny. People were talking about in-kind deals with NIL, which will go into my 8 o'clock. But I'm gonna negotiate about $2 to $3 million in perks that are simple that you should do anyway.
You're really in demand, aren't you?
If I'm Sean McVay, yeah.
No, I got you. Well, I think Sean McVay would get. Hey, you might as well stay there, Bobby, because we're about to get into you. But go ahead and get us to Executive Health, and we'll stay here for a second. Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. Since we're talking about Sean McVay and quality of life, here you go. Quality of life. Don't go around all week feeling like crap, thinking you're just getting old or you're out of shape or something like. Maybe you are getting old. Maybe you are out of shape. Maybe those things are true, but you can fix one of those, and then you can feel better if you go to Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. They can get you feeling right. If you've got pain, they can handle that. Just about anything you need handled, they can do at Northeast Florida Executive Health and Med Spa. Is it men or is there women in there as well?
No, there's women as well. Like the 24-hour doc and those things are for men or their families. They have the facials, they have that estheticians, they do the eyebrows, they do all the other different things for women, but men, it's time for you to get a little beautiful too, man. Like you're pretty on the inside as well. But go in there and make sure your body's feeling right. No need to feel old. Like somebody brought this up. Right. Remember TGIF? Yeah. Family Matters, right? You remember that show?
Yeah.
Carl Winslow.
Yeah.
Carl Winslow had kids, damn near grown ass kids too, with Laura, and then he had to deal with Steve. His wife's sister lived with them. And her mother, and his wife's sister's kid. And then he also lost one kid because she walked up the steps and never came back. This man was 30. This man was 38 years old.
That's what he's supposed to be on the show?
On the show. Go back and think about, I'm 38. I'll be 38 this year.
Yeah, I would have thought he'd been 50.
Right. People were older back in the day. Like they were like 38 was you're damn near you're on the way out.
Bro, it hit me in the shower the other day as I'm closer to 50 than I am 40 now.
Yeah. I remember when we did your 40th, where we were at.
Yeah.
We literally, Florida State fans, well, not fans, Jimbo Fisher literally
we started at.
Literally got Mitch Trubisky drafted.
Yes.
On your 40th birthday.
That's right.
And one of your favorite quarterbacks made an incredible throw. Was it against Georgia? Anyways, it was a Hail Mary at the last minute, and they scored with Tennessee.
Oh, with Dobbs?
Yeah, with Josh Dobbs, and they scored that same day. Same day. The Tennessee game was before.
I guess I didn't realize that.
I would never forget that day. That kicker Mitch Trubisky made me so mad.
Who was the receiver? Was it Switzer?
I don't even remember.
Ryan Switzer tore y'all up.
Little white boy.
Yeah.
Little white shifty wide receiver. Miami had one for like 7 years. Then Clemson got them one. That was a walk. That's playing for the Raiders, right?
Yeah,
man. I love white running backs. I hate white receivers, slot receivers for that reason. The little small ones. I like Cooper Kupp.
Very racist.
Listen, man, I don't hate you because you're white. I hate you because you're white and what you did to my Seminoles. Like, it's terrifying. Like, when I see him lined up, I'm like, oh, this guy. Probably some lacrosse player about to go up here and just destroy
his name, Chris Hogan.
Like, yeah, about to come up here and destroy us.
That's the wild thing about Belichick. Anyway, we got to get to this Bobby situation because we learned some valuable information for those to catch people up. Bobby Brown Jr. Is a comedian.
Facts.
Okay,
thank you.
And that's what you tell us.
In his defense,
but
he grabs a microphone and he walks in front of people and he sets He sets himself up for critique.
I have not seen Bobby stand-up act in person, so I've got a couple questions. But at Goodfellas, there was a comedy night Sunday night, and Bobby was the opening act. Is that all correct?
That is correct.
Yes,
all
sir.
Factual.
Okay, Bobby.
Shout out to Cortez Brooks.
Grade your performance.
All right, so to me, my performance from that night, I'm gonna give myself a 6. I'm gonna give myself a 6.
Oh. Who grades like that? It's
well,
A, B, C, D, what?
Oh, wait, grades are letters? What?
Where did you go to school?
1 through 10.
Where did you go to school?
He said he did say.
Did they give you a 10?
He did say.
I got all 10s.
You're right.
He did say grade. Most people would say if they want a 1 to 10, they'll say, "Hey, from a scale of 1 to 10, where would you give?"
Mom,
yourself?
I got a 7-.
So
on my
you gave
test.
yourself a 6. So you gave yourself a D.
That's a C. That's a C, and if you shifted to letters,
It's 60%.
Okay,
what school gives a 60?
He went to a very good school.
Yeah, like
listen, a D is passing in DCPS.
Okay, you passed. I'm saying I give you that. Like you passed, but okay.
Yeah,
so.
I think I did decent for like me, but I judge myself always a lot harsher than most people. Like I thought I did okay, and then I got off stage, and a lot more people than I expected were like, "Hey, man, that was a really funny joke." Like people I didn't know were like, "Oh, dude, no, you were really funny. Keep doing your thing." And like it's different when people don't know you and they say that. So that made me feel better, But like for me and myself, I always think you always think that I do worse than I actually do, just because I'm a critic of myself.
Well, that's good. That means you're not a narcissist.
Yeah, not yet.
Yes.
I'm trying to be.
Yes, you're trying. That's the goal. What would you grade him?
I would have given him. I'd give him a 7, a C.
Okay. Hey,
I did both. I would have gave him a C.
I'll take that. That was your first time seeing me do stand up, right?
And it wasn't because I think there was some things that the jokes were fine. I just think the landing of some of the jokes.
Yeah.
So
timing.
Okay, so I have because I wasn't there. I have a couple questions. Like, was the stage that we were on? Were all the couches up there and all that?
Yeah, but they weren't. It was just funny. I got to pick up my guy Pierre, the DJ. Like he gave us the short. There was the short microphone string or whatever you call it, cord, the mic cord. So like they couldn't go all. There was a whole section of the crowd that they couldn't even entertain.
So you were kind of boxed in.
So like if you kept walking and you're like you're going to get yanked back, and there was no microphone stand, so there was like no centering.
Yeah.
So like
that I will say was interesting. That's what I did learn, because like this was a show where usually I'm like I was up on stage and I was like, oh my God, where's the microphone stand? And I have never thought that in a comedy show, right. But I love to grab the stand when I tell jokes. Like some of my jokes I deliver, and my posture just kind of helps with the balance of that. That is a very big thing.
Yeah. Of course.
Anyway, you should be able to go on and tell jokes anyway.
I would think the biggest. And I think it's nothing wrong with it. It's really more so how you could, like what I said, it was funny. Like I got joked about throwing a phone book. I couldn't even if I wanted to do it, it was so funny to see him in his element. Cause like when I talking about, my man was like dead serious. He was dead ass serious, man. But I go back to this. We just talked about the Super Bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously those are high top acts. We're not going to see Mary J. Blige with a sheet of paper up there singing her lyrics, or Eminem So he had his paper, but he had just wrote some.
Bobby, you had paper you're reading off of?
Well, I didn't know. First of all, that's a common misconception. People always say you're reading off of a paper. No, that I get it. It might look like that to an audience member.
Why else would you have a piece of paper?
I had you set lists. You know what I mean? The comedians go on for a whole hour. You got to have.
It wasn't your piece of paper.
No. It was my set list. I went on with my set list.
It was him, outline. It wasn't like he's reading it word for word, but like when you go and you're seeing somebody perform, it's just what people are used to.
You do this all the time?
No, I wrote 2 jokes at the club because I realized I actually called James. It was called Big Game Comedy. It was the name of the event. And I called James like, why is it Big Game Comedy? So I wrote some football jokes.
He was like, it's for the
because I saw the audience that was there. And like that is why I also have like my set list on stage with me, because I edit my order of what I'm going to talk about based on like not all the time, but if I look at the crowd and I see, oh, they're responding to this from the first comedian, or oh, they're responding to that. Okay, this joke might work if I move it up, or they don't care about this. Like I had some dating jokes, but there was all older men in the front, closer rows that I was like, I'm not going to start with this. They don't give a crap. Let me do some football jokes.
You should have done a dating joke. The joke that I actually marketed with, he did not give. It's his best joke.
To him.
To me, like I would have been dying. Like the joke that
what is
it's about, like it was basically no girl is more excited to tell you that she has a boyfriend than a girl who's not interested at the bar.
Oh,
and I don't care how smooth you are. Most guys can have either seen this or have experienced.
So why didn't you go with that?
So for this, but I tried out new jokes for this one. Like I'm building a 25 minute half hour.
Used us as a
but that's what you're supposed to like. I wrote that joke for
that
you.
Open mic.
The one joke that he did, we tried to do it, and I just don't think I don't think he landed the timing properly.
Which joke?
Similar to like what he said when he said it the last time. The one about COVID taking all the good recipes.
Oh,
and you could have tied that into a football thing with Michael Irvin, because it was one of the greatest things. And he's like, that's what's wrong with the world today. The young ladies, they're not in the kitchen with moms. We're losing recipes. Like you could have literally taken something like that and been like, we're like, these new, but it was cool. I also give him, now he got the C because at the end of the day, your job is to perform, make us laugh. It wasn't a raucous laughter, but it's also not all his fault. The vibe of Goodfellas is so relaxed, it's so chill that it was just like, nobody was landed in it.
We got to find a way to do it, like just set it up a little bit better.
It's gonna be brighter. I'm gonna make it brighter next time. And then even when Ted started,
when you come, go ahead.
Like when Ted started, who basically emceed the event, Cortez Brooks, local comedian, like he's funny, and he was having a hard time getting people warmed up in the beginning. So I was just like, woo.
I want to hear what he's about to say.
I was gonna say, when you come to a show, Denny, I'll be on 10. Like after this first one, I got ready. I saw the stage. I know what I need to do.
You don't know me very well, do you?
I don't know you very well, but I do know myself. And
okay, scale of 1 to 10. With 10, I'm gonna run right out, and 1, I would never see one of your shows. Where do you think I am
right now? I'd say I like an 8.
You didn't know me very well.
No, you don't think so?
You gotta go to 1. It's not you. It's just it's not you. It's the people.
Okay,
that's the reason why. But and then the other thing too is, Bobby, this is why I really give you a C, because you gotta like, dog.
Bobby, C in a good way or C in a bad way? Because you're saying this. I don't.
C can be whatever. C is average. But the thing is, I'm giving them hope.
Okay,
I'm not just the teacher that's taking the piece of paper.
Because it sounds like what you're saying is you should have an F, but I'm going to give you a C because of this.
I'm trying to say this is how you can get a B. Like,
okay,
I think I saw enough to be like, it was funny. It's just, it wasn't like, if one comedian said that if another comedian that everybody knew would have said the same set that he said, more people would have laughed.
How old are you?
Who they know.
23.
So he was also in a crowd with everybody who was probably, the average age was 42 plus, outside of who he brought. But the problem was he brought the white people.
Okay, there was more than just the white people.
All the white people. No, I'm saying he brought more than that. And what did they do? Now, Goodfellas is owned by white people. Like, it's just, but it's a good crowd. They sat on the edges or in the back playing pool where he was at.
Well, it's Black History Month.
But
we've been we've been told to give up the good seats.
I got 15 minutes to watch my boy. I'll give him up after.
Oh, you're saying
like your friends gotta be in front. And they gotta lead.
So it's different. It's all right. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying now.
So I'm saying, like, even if you were bad, they should be laughing. And laughing is contagious. So if they're hysterical, somebody else is gonna come up there. Like, so and then that's your comfort zone. So like you look into the crowd and
comfortable playing to a crowd of predominantly white or predominantly black.
So
I'm not. If I'm being, it's just I know the white people were there for him.
Yeah.
No. I'm legit curious.
If I'm like me personally, I'm comfortable if you give me a stage and say go tell your jokes, because no matter what, I have my style. I will say like. So far, you know what I mean? Like, so far, white people have loved me more, but like doing like black people's like black rooms and stuff like that. Like it always takes me a second to connect. And I don't know why that's different. They don't always laugh immediately or really get me immediately, maybe, I guess. But either way, I love performing in both.
Yeah. Because I mean, all my favorite comedians are Black comedians.
Thank you.
Wow. You just went like you just took you're like
narcissism. I'm working on it.
Chris Rock and
but yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not. I also gave myself a C, but here's the thing: when I'm grading it, I'm not grading it saying this is bad or this is good. Comedy is every time that you go up, there's going to be something that you want to fix and do better the next time. So that's how I'm looking at it. To where like certain venues, you got to learn how to play in them. You got to learn how to fit. You got to learn how to mold everything into the show because you doing comedy isn't just the show. You got to control the room and do everything.
He's funnier on this podcast. And here's the thing. The problem, why he's funnier on this podcast? Is we get to know him on this podcast. We did not get to know him in his set. And it goes back to what we were talking about in pre-show. He has the greatest story, the greatest 15 minutes. And the thing is you can't, like, you're grown. I'm going to free you. And anybody who's listening to this is freeing you. Once you're over 18, dog, you grown. You might need your family, but it ain't your fault no more what they did to you the first 18 years. You're 23. You said like he's got dad issues. I would have related to that. And I don't mean that. I want to make sure
we get this right because we mentioned this in the show on Monday.
Right.
And so I just want to catch everybody up because you said on Monday that his dad surprised him.
Right.
And that he was taking notes and he looked up like 3 or 4 times and didn't even pay attention to his dad.
It would have been.
We found out why.
Yeah, it would have been more in context if I knew this man had never seen his dad before, or had only seen him one time before.
This was your second time.
So this particular time at this show, James says that he was the first person at the event at Goodfellas. Okay. I'd only seen him. I met him November of last year
of 2021 or
2021.
So 5 months ago.
So Thanksgiving. Yes. This man met him when he went during, which would have been
was it Thanksgiving?
It would have been a good segue.
It wasn't at Thanksgiving, no, but yeah.
Even if it wasn't, he was like, I met my dad. Like he could have done his dad joke. I met my dad for the first time at Thanksgiving. And then you go into that boom, boom, boom. Then you go into the losing recipes thing.
Yeah.
And like so
that would have been
that would have been good.
Now that you put that together, like those jokes were thought of. Like I thought of that joke 8 months ago when COVID happened.
Right. I'm just saying, like, it's a way to,
that's what I mean. Like, you always have things that you're going to learn and things that'll pop up for you to add when you go on.
Hold on. I'm curious, though. I'm curious. So you met your dad for the first time in November.
Yes.
You're 23.
My biological father. I met him, yes, for the first time in November.
So this is your biological father?
Yes. This guy who's at the show.
How did that come about?
But hold on. Before we get to that, because this is what makes it even interesting.
Should bump your life for a second.
No, it's about his life. So his dad, I meet hours before Bobby even gets there.
Okay.
I'm slightly mad at Bobby because I bought him a drink, but whatever, hey, I buy a lot of people drinks, but if I would have known,
if you'd have known second
dad
time,
right. Dad wasn't really here.
We have drinks you can buy.
Dad, buy your own goddamn drink.
Right.
But when I said, he told me I'm Bobby's dad. I said, oh, pleasure to meet you. Okay, so there really is a Bobby Brown senior because we've been just saying we don't know. He might be Bobby. We don't know. We know he's Bobby Brown Jr.
Did you call him that when he said he's my dad? Listen, okay, go ahead.
We don't know which. Well, I didn't know if maybe he could have been Bobby Brown.
James has never met any of my parents.
So when he says that, he's like, nah, that's not. I'm his dad, but I'm a biological, but I ain't. And I'm like, this is really weird thing. You were like, so okay, well maybe Bobby Brown. Then I was like, I've heard people like the Bobby Brown Senior might be the granddad. It could have been something else. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't really want to get into all this. Fine, I won't tell Bobby you're here. Live your life.
So he told you not.
So
to
he
tell Bobby?
Told me he wasn't Bobby.
No, but he told you not to tell Bobby he was there.
He told me not to tell Bobby, and then even when Bobby went to the back, like, so he literally got up, walked in front of Bobby, and then did this to me. Like, still don't tell Bobby that it's me.
You know what's funny?
And I'm sitting here thinking, like, so if my father did this, just to give him some, I haven't seen my dad since I was 17 years old.
So half your life.
So yeah,
over half.
Damn, it just gets longer and longer. Like, it's actually really sad, James. Like, I look like ain't no question. Now, if you want to question my sister, the other brothers and sisters that we found out about 10 years ago that we got, fine. And I get it. Him and my mom had a little art. We're on the rocks when Kyler came around.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no doubt that I'm James Anthony Coleman, the senior's son. Like, we know that for a fact. And I got the name, got all these other things, and he ain't seen. But like, if he walked up, I probably would recognize him. But like, I at least saw him more than 2 times in my life.
One. That was only one before this.
One before this. That's what I'm saying. So like, if it would have shocked me more, like if I would have seen my dad, and now it explains like it wasn't Bobby wasn't being rude with it, but it wasn't like
pops. Yeah.
Oh my God, my dad. Like mom. Oh, like if we did a live show and my mom shows up, I'm like, oh my God, hey mom, what's going on?
Right.
I'm gonna still do me, and they know me at this point, but like. And that's dangerous for to know your son. Remember how many times you met him? To know your son is a comedian
and to pop in
and to pop up.
Yeah,
man. And you just met him.
Okay, so
everything is content.
So
like, I would have been thinking I was roasted.
How did it happen in November?
Okay, so in November, pretty much he was on the road going like South Florida. So this guy's name, who my biological is S. His name is Sean. All right. So that's why I asked if you called him Bobby while you were there, because that was not Bobby Sr.
Yeah, I found
that guy at the show.
He made sure I knew that.
So you called him Bobby Sr.
I wasn't sure. Forgive me.
This is wild.
Biological dad. I'm Bobby's dad.
There's a Bobby Brown Jr.
I'm like, okay, he's not. He's Bobby Brown Jr. One could deduce that was your dad. Hi, Bobby. No, I'm his biological. Now I'm even more confused.
Right. That's
okay.
Okay, I get it. But in November, I go to like Riverside area a lot, and I'm just there writing jokes one day. They're writing jokes. He's like, hey, I just went to go visit my family. I'm in town though. If you want to meet up real quick. And so he came out to where I was when I was working on my bits, my jokes, and he sat down. We had like a little coffee, sat across the table. We chatted it up. This is in November when I first was like, oh, yeah, well, I'm a stand-up comedian. I do comedy. That's what I kind of focus on and all this stuff. And so fast forward to now, I didn't know he would be at the show. I just posted this on my Instagram, Facebook, and all this stuff.
You're going way too far ahead.
Okay.
Hold on. Back up.
Okay.
So the one time that you met him was over coffee.
Yes.
While
I was out writing jokes at the park.
But y'all been texting. He's got your number.
Yeah. So I knew, we've been texting since maybe like 2 months prior to November. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just like I'm still trying to figure out, how to be an independent guy.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, how do you?
Like, this relationship is starting now that I'm 23 because I found out a couple of years ago. But I'm just trying to set. I want to be an adult before I really, crack things open and start to figure it out. Okay. That was where I was at with it. So that's why I didn't.
That's a lot.
That's why I didn't meet him until November of last year.
And the only time you met him, how long were y'all together?
November, maybe like a 25, 30-minute coffee lunch, because he doesn't even live here. He lives in Virginia.
So because when you said I met him, I pictured, and you said November, I pictured y'all had a meal together.
Oh, I mean, there was a meal there.
Now you know what I mean? Like y'all spent Thanksgiving together.
Oh,
this was 25 minutes.
Just like brief. He was passing through town. No, man. And so like the running joke that I had when I did meet him was like usually, like you seen what's that movie, Coming to America, when you find your long lost son and you just give him a huge bag. Mm-hmm. I got $42. I was like, that's not missing son money.
Did you see the reaction?
Yeah.
Do you see the reaction?
Yes.
Do you see why he got a seat?
That's what I'm saying. I don't even. This is.
He could have brought Coming.
Bro,
he
there
brought
is
Coming,
so much
new movie. He brought like seeing my long 25. Like he could have been like everybody could have related to it. Like, yo, I saw my dad. Yo, at least the last time I saw my dad, he spent a couple days.
Yeah, but this is
I got like a new suit out of it. I got a lot of good some cool things.
I'm glad
this man hadn't seen his dad.
You understand?
And he got $42 and some coffee.
Do you understand? Like even beyond the funny, to your point about people getting to know him, That story is wild, bro, that you're sitting there writing jokes and your dad, who you've never seen,
I would have freestyled.
text you.
Yeah, I wish I should have told him, but he wouldn't have done this. But like, if it were me and somebody were to tell me, I'm scrapping all my jokes and we going freestyle off the dome for the rest of it. And the only reason why is my whole bit and where it's gonna go is solely off of what the hell just happened in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, my dad's here. Everybody.
But once again, you also remember, I didn't know he was there until after I performed. Like, I didn't recognize. Like, I looked at it. Apparently, I looked at him 3 times.
Well, I would have been like, I just met my father for the first time for Thanksgiving. Everybody like, cool. It was 20 minutes. We had some coffee.
Yeah.
We had this. Like,
just that whole thing is go beyond funny. It's just interesting.
Yeah. Well, this is the first time that I've actually ever shared this, like actually talked about it openly. You know what I mean? So this is like, I'm glad that y'all are giving me the confidence to take it to stage.
Do this more often.
Therapy hour.
I talk like it when we don't have, like, that's right. You haven't really listened to us like that. So when we get off season, we've had our fathers call in we called our fathers for Father's Day,
which was interesting.
We've done, which they're polar opposites, but the same person. At the same time.
Okay, right. That's interesting.
I would go in and I would tell people, and I posted on Facebook. My father was a terrible dad. Well, and he just tried his best with the best. He's a better grandfather, but he's trying now. And how my father, and maybe this will happen with you. My father tries to reach out with me by giving me life advice that I can't take and that I can't use, but that obviously in some point in his life, he's had to use these things. So he'll do like, and our conversations last like the equivalent of your first time meeting your dad. 25 minutes, first time I've ever seen somebody. Probably should be a little bit longer. My father's phone conversations are him calling me random hours of the day, telling me something for 2 minutes, and then rushing me off the phone like I called him. So he'll be like, hey, listen, son, check. Hold on, man. You busy? Okay, cool. I just want to let you know. Hey, listen, if you're ever in a time when you have to shoot somebody, you got to kill everybody, okay? Because, you leave one story. All right, son, love you. I'll talk to you later.
It's like one of those little rip-off calendars.
Like, yeah. So I want people to digest what just happened. Like, one, why would I be in a situation like that? Just
what do you know? What do you know?
What are you gonna do? Like, is there something? When have you used this advice?
I'm wondering what happened before the phone call.
Right.
No, I'm wondering, like, if it was me, I'm going, wait, I got the same name as this joker. There are people looking for him that's down here.
Yeah.
So apparently my father got into a shootout with Columbus Police Department when he was a bounty hunter. And he tells me about
so much in that sentence.
Right.
So much in that sentence.
Thanks. No.
Was that a real statement?
No. That the fuck.
My dad got into a shootout.
That the fucking with
serious. The police department
when he was a
bounty hunter. Oh,
hold up. Before we get into that, my mother is tough as nails. One of the nicest women you ever meet. She's a tea kettle, though. What I mean by that is she doesn't get mean. She doesn't get angry or mean easily. You got to boil her, but when she blows her top, she's there. She is Island Mae Watkins, which is my grandmother. If you ever heard me talk, my grandmother, the meanest person on the planet. Love her to death. Tough as nails. Gonna tell you how she feels. Also, nicest person on the planet. I saw my mom go from 0 to 100 real quick. Never seen it again in my life. Never saw it before. And I was 10 years old. My dad just started becoming a bounty hunter. We went to go visit him in Columbus, Ohio. Do you know what this man did?
What?
He took me on a hunt.
Oh, that's lit.
I was in the car with him. He got the person in shackles.
Yes.
Treats me good, right? So, you can't have a young kid in the front seat during these times. That's supposed to be bad. You can't transport a criminal back to the jail in the front seat. We in the back seat together.
What kind of car?
You and your
He had a Jeep Cherokee then. So like it was a lady. So she's shackled. Like, and he's got her in like the feet cuffs. Like she is like shackled.
This one was dangerous.
And how he goes, he's like, all right, B, stay here. Stay here, right here. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Pulls out his pump shotgun in a newspaper and knocks on the door. Newspaper. All you see is a newspaper. Like all you see is a newspaper. It was something like that. Looked like he was delivering something. And they open the door, click, click, freeze. You're here, blah, blah, blah. Typically, when you hear that click of the pump, you typically freeze. So he put the shackles on her, everything, puts her in the back seat. When my mother found out because my sister was at his sister's house, my Aunt Carla, my mom was like, where's my son? And she was like, James took him on a bounty hunt. Like, blah, blah. He did what? When the words that I heard over that phone, she was on like the first plane to Columbus, Ohio, like ready to snatch us back. And like, I'll never see it was almost when she became like the baby mama that everybody complains about that we hear black. She was like, I'll never send these kids back up to here. What the hell is wrong with you? So that's
Dude,
just
I got so many questions for both of y'all right now.
So
like, this is blowing my mind. Miles, you got something like this too? Like, okay.
Now his dad just
wait.
Did
you have conversation?
We don't. The only people who understand what Miles's dad even says are his wife,
so we're
his
the same.
sister, and him.
So Miles and I are the same. My dad's the same.
Like
way.
his dad was. On God, my father-in-law came to the house one time, and my god brother was right there with me. Lil James, he was there. We were sitting there. And he said, me and Lil James look at each other like, yo, what did this man just say? TJ and Miles move. They know it wasn't Spanish. It wasn't my Caribbean. It was gibberish that man said.
It was Black Ed Orgeron.
He sounded
Black Ed Orgeron.
No, I'll put it. Imagine Mufasa, right? So imagine Mufasa, like James Earl Jones in your head, but James Earl Jones has a Caribbean Spanish accent. That's what my father. He's mad dad. Exactly. That's what my kids. And the only. Do you know who else understands them? His grandsons understand them. I don't know what the hell that man be saying.
But hold on, did you and the lady in shackles have a conversation?
I don't remember. It was. I remember.
Like, how old were you? 10?
I was 10.
That's Walker's age. Walker's sitting in the back, like what? I wonder if, like, hey, how are you doing, ma'am?
Same trip, right? 4th of July, same trip, 4th of July. On God, not 4th of July. Excuse me. This is like January 7th. So people are. So
the opposite of 4th of July.
I meant July 7th.
Oh, okay.
July 7th. So people are still popping fireworks, right? People still popping fireworks. My father doesn't live in, well, I don't know where he lives now, but then he didn't live in the nicest of neighborhoods. He hears pop, pop. He jumps out. He grabs his gun. He's dating a woman named Vaughn, who is 40. She is a grown ass woman. He bypasses the grown ass woman. Thank God he bypasses the 5-year-old. He comes to me. And gives me, who has never seen a gun like that before, gives me a Glock and says, if anybody comes through that door that's not me, don't ask no questions, point and shoot. Why do I get the gun?
Bobby's over here like, thank God I didn't see my dad.
See what I'm saying? So like I told the first comment that my stepsister told me. When she was like on Facebook, when she found me, she was like, hey, I think your dad might be my dad. I told her, knowing my dad, I think you might be right. Without even knowing who you are.
What app was that?
Facebook. She found me on Facebook Messenger.
This guy's daughters found me on Instagram.
So she related here.
Girl, what are we doing talking about sport?
Then she tells me
show.
She tells me all of this stuff, and I said, listen. And I told her this.
Y'all are jacked up. Yeah. We got so much content here.
The Black Therapy Show?
Yes.
I haven't even got, okay, my bad.
I feel like we should just give y'all a microphone and let you all talk through your life.
Let me tell you why you're probably great. You're probably good. Outside of now having great content, my father actually was supposed to be doing like 50-something years. Now, his dad, who I don't know, his dad is dead. I don't know.
He's supposed to be doing what?
Like, let me tell you, like, so he tells me this is why I forgave my father, because I realized he's fucked up because his people fucked up, and it's a generational thing, and it was the coldest, greatest advice that I could never see my mother giving me, but it was great, it was real, but like at a certain point, you got to be like, so he's stressing because he's going to court. They're supposed to say guilty or innocent. He's getting ready to go, and he called. So when you're thinking your life is over, you call your parents asking for comfort. And his dad says, why are you bitching? What are you worried about? Either they're going to convict you or they're not. You can't be sitting here losing your life worrying about what the future's going to happen. Y'all did everything you were supposed to do. Just facing 52 years. I'm sorry. Like at least at some point, I'll be like, you know what, son? I pray it never happens to Trey. I understand why you're stressed. We bought the best lawyers for you. Hopefully this will play out. Blah 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 blah. For a man to say get over it, like what are you worried about? Just they're either going to convince you.
Point.
They're either going to convince you or they're not going to convince you. Like, so why are you stressed?
It's a very reasonable point.
It is, but it's just like
sounds like something I would say. Actually.
Why are we in this situation? That's the thing. But like, I say all that to say is like I told my stepsister, and again, this comes from I still love my father. He did the best he could do, but when I told my stepsister, I said, "Listen, you gone this long without him." As a man who absolutely knows exactly who his father is because we're spitting images of each other, probably cool. Probably better. You're probably better off. It's going to be.
But what I mean, so what's the plan going forward for you?
See him.
I plan to keep telling jokes. Keep doing.
No, care about that. Bobby, are you going to use your dad as fodder? That's what we need to know.
I'm going to start working like after
pick one, fodder or father.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
After talking to y'all, y'all made me laugh enough to where I'll start using this stuff in my material and building on it. I didn't think people would be interested. I didn't think it would matter to anybody.
What do you mean?
I had no idea that I could have a lot of fun with it like that.
Dude, that's like
it's the best.
If I didn't have a call in 15 minutes, we would spend another hour with just questions I have.
There was a comedy special called "Laugh at My Pain."
That's true.
It's literally what comedians are supposed to do. You're supposed to go up on stage and let us see somebody whose life is more fucked up than ours and let us laugh about it for a little bit. That's your job for that little bit of time.
Yeah. Or, like I said, I was
so
trying to figure out
in almost any room.
Right.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out how to be funny. I just wanted to be funny and then I can put myself into it and make it better for everybody.
No, dude. You got to put yourself into it first.
And you want to know the crazy thing about it is some of these comedians, these are what writers are giving them.
Yo,
it's their life.
Yes,
it's not even their life.
Think about people leave the comedy club. They get in the car. They saw 5 comedians. They get in the club. The dude that met his dad at Thanksgiving. Who is that? Dude, that makes you different than everybody else there. Now it's like they're going to pay attention because they know you, like James said.
Well, I want to thank the Sports Den for helping me start my next comedy special, guys. I'm gonna be doing it. I'm gonna be doing it. I will be working on it. And thanks for letting me talk about my comedy.
And I think it's even more hilarious now that this
that
didn't even know. He hasn't known.
Listen, it could have been a stranger.
So many questions.
James is so mad about the $12.
I am.
He's gonna hit him up on Facebook.
I'm joking about that, but I'm dead the fuck serious. I got this man a drink, and I didn't have to get him a drink. Like I needed him to pay the establishment. Man,
next time he sees my dad, like, hey man, real quick,
you owe me a drink, bro.
Oh, by the way, you don't have $42. You have $30 now.
James, you gotta get that. No, wrong. He owes me $37 because one of his friends did not pay me. He tried to come in with the credit card and I needed cash. And I forgot which white person
take credit cards?
We did. I ended up running them on the sport. I sent you a text. But
that's what that.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I forgot. And I don't remember which white person he was in there. It was only 5 of them, but I didn't want to go up to all 5 white people and say, you owe me money.
You saying they all look alike?
Well, I mean, 2 of them were girls, I think.
2 of them also looked alike. So.
But that was
last thing I'll say about that. Hopefully, I can from that C, I plan to, get better for my standard and raise my grades up. You know what I mean? Like, except that I didn't do that in high school, but now it's better. But yeah, money. Like, did I do enough? Like, would you want to come see me do comedy again if you didn't know me, James? Even though you didn't. All right.
It was funny. I just think I think the venue was a tough crowd. If Tez didn't bomb, I don't want to say because Tez didn't bomb, but if they weren't, they ended up laughing at him more. If he didn't come out and it was a cold opening to him, I'd have been like, all right, you suck. But like part of it was just it was tough to get everybody warmed up. But we gotta go to the 8 o'clock. We gotta get at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, Green Acres. Get to greenacresporting.com. Wow, I feel like we just did a whole segment on gun violence. You got to protect yourself from people like this joker.
My dad. You need to because trust me, if you're not holding, he is.
I mean, all of a sudden, you be riding around one day. Next thing you know, there's a woman in shackles right next to you.
So, again, I get a call. Apparently, I've got like 15 guns waiting on me for if anything ever happens to him.
That's what he's.
Told me that's what he's been. He's like, He's like 10 of them.
It's actually kind of dope.
He's like 10 of them. He's like 10 of them are really, really good. He's like 5 of them are burners. So, but your Uncle Clay can tell you which ones are those. This is again. You'll learn this, Bobby.
I ain't gonna lie.
He doesn't know how to be. He's not normal. So how he gives me advice, like this is him trying to connect. So like I'm with it. I'm like, but Dad, like I don't find myself in shootouts every Thursday. I try to avoid those places.
One will be fine.
Yeah, like if you give me one solid gun,
legal solid gun,
not the burners
that I don't need to call Uncle Clay, who I don't know about.
Yeah, who I've talked to twice in my entire life. Like I just, but anyways,
he's like, James, right above the light switch, there's no light switch. Hit that.
Right.
Be a rotating room. There's Uncle Clay. All right, get to Green Acres for all your hunting and fishing needs. Rifles, shotguns, pistols, flamethrowers, muskets, fishing poles, nets, knives. I'm going through ammo,
plenty of that.
concealed weapons classes,
crossbows.
I did not. This is all top of head. Boots.
They also have not stores. What do you call it? Safes.
Safe's a big one. Yeah, that's where you go. Go to Green Acres. Get to greenacresporting.com. What's your 8 o'clock?
So the legislation for NIL for the state of Florida got tabled, basically. They were supposed to be trying to make some amendments to make it more like other states. So that's really been a lot of the talk over the last week, and it's been a lot
NIL
of
being name, image,
likeness. Yep. In Miami, and the Cuban billionaire that they got has just said we're gonna pay people. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Florida with Darren Heitner and a few others, they have got the Gator Collective. They are doing everything in their power. Like you're not seeing the president of the University of Florida or Miami, the ADs. You're not seeing any of them talk about this bill. They're talking about how we're going to figure it out regardless. Now, whereas FSU is consistently making the headlines about why this bill puts us at a disadvantage. And my 8 o'clock is the excuses that are coming out of my alma mater. Because here's what we found out also during this week. Jordan Brand has partnered with different universities to allow players to get paid off of customizable jerseys. So that means you can go put whatever name you want to put on there, and that player will get a percentage of that. If this name, image, and likeness deal was so bad, the University of Florida would not announce that they're with Anthony Richardson, that they're doing a similar deal. I've gone on numerous podcasts. I have asked. I even put it out there. I said, can anybody explain to me exactly how the Florida schools are at a disadvantage? The disadvantage is that the school cannot go out and negotiate a deal. The school cannot go out and negotiate a deal. The school can't. The Gator Collective can. Spirit, is it Rising Spirit? Whatever FSU's version of it is, they have Rising Spirit, I want to make sure I say it right. They have the ability to do this. Like, even bigger than that, what I told a lot of fans, if y'all so big, every player sells shirts, everybody does this. You know how you can help with recruiting? They're like, it hurts recruiting. How you help with recruiting is showing Jordan Travis showing a kid that I made $50,000 over the course of 2 months because our fan base is so great here with my platform. I haven't yet to find a kid when I go and I inbox them or DM them and say, I got $2,000 for you. They haven't ignored me. You know what most people do when you inbox them, say I got $2,000 for you? They go out and do it. I'm so tired of everything being excused and not being about action. FSU fans, Florida fans, Miami fans, if you want your university to be great, you come up and you create it. These deals are nothing more than marketing contracts. And I'm going to be honest with you. You want to know the real thing that's holding you back? It's not some state senator that says a dumb comment like, I don't want a bunch of 18-year-olds driving a Porsche. That's dumb. And maybe if they did do it, universities would do it. But you know what you want to know what a university contract looks like? Most of you guys have gone to college and you have student loans. That's what a university negotiates. It's going to always have something to do with the benefit of the university and not necessarily the player. But be about action. Go do something. There's nothing stopping you from being as creative as you want to be about this. And I'm also really aggravated and tired of people using the fact that they're 17, 18, and 19-year-olds and they've never seen contracts like this, or people will bring up taxes, or they'll bring up all these other things like, one, 32-year-olds don't have issues with never seeing contracts like this or taxes, or B, like you can't hire an attorney or an accountant. And then somebody says, well, how do you know they can afford it? Bitch, if you're getting a $15,000 contract, you can afford to pay $500 to a good accountant. Like, it's things that you can do to help set yourself up. And I personally know, like, I had friends who were multimillionaires when they were 19 years old. They have Grammy plaques on their wall. Nobody said, well, T-Pain, we can't pay you this kind of money because, you know, you're a little 18-year-old colored boy from the hood. Like, you guys ain't never seen no money like that. No, what the music industry did was say, you know what, we're going to set you up with the right people. Like, if you're that concerned, make sure that those concerns are covered. If you're an attorney,
this generation ain't even like that. That's a bunch of people that don't know this generation. This generation, they're not even like, yes, my generation, if you'd have given me $50,000, like, it wouldn't have gone well. Money's not like that to this generation, man. It's not. It's like, I'm around them all the time. Are they motivated by money? Sure. Everybody's motivated by comfort. They're motivated more by, like, they're more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much more end goal than ours. Like, they know, I want to develop this following, and maybe I have to turn down this job to put my time into this following, because 5 years from now I want to be here. And then 10 years, my gut is, if you give most of these guys, going by the guys that we train, $50,000, they may go buy a chain, and the rest of it they ain't spending. They may go buy dad some shoes. The rest of it they're not spending. Like, it's not what everybody thinks it is.
And the funny thing is, too, that goes to another part of it, what they think. So there's the meme, the meme that keeps circulating all the time, and I hate it, with the rich versus poor. Oh, yeah. And they got the rich guy, and they're like, he has like $5 glasses, and he has this, he has that. And the funny thing about the poor guy is that there are 3 items that the poor guy has that let me know every time somebody shares this, they have no idea about rich and wealth. So, like, something that and it sucks because I have family members getting older. They're passing. But what they do is, outside of my father who wants to bequeath me guns and munitions, appreciate it.
All right.
I have other family members who have china that I can have. They've got gold. They've got things that, you know, don't know if you realize this or not. They're always valuable.
Right.
They're tradable. So one of the things, they had $15,000 watch, $31,000 chain, and they pointed at the shoes. And I said, there's 3 things on this picture that let me know that you guys have no idea about what sneaker culture is. And I think I talked about it on the show, how my stocks, I put less in my shoes, more in stocks. Right now, my shoe collection is more valuable than my stock collection. The chain, you can melt it down. That gold always will have value to it. The watch is, if you're paying over $1,000, $2,000 for a watch, you're buying a timepiece more than likely. That watch is going to be something that's why people hand Rolexes down. They hand these things. If you don't know what an Audemars Piguet and you see what the price is, you say that's stupid. Rightfully so. You shouldn't pay for that. But the biggest thing in all of that is, if you can afford to buy those things, guess what? You're not. You're not poor. You might not be rich or wealthy, but you damn sure ain't poor. So that's just, you know.
I mean, I look at the guys that come in our facility that have gotten good NIL deals. It's not any different than when they were coming in before. They're wearing the same things, right? It's not like Anthony Richardson comes in, he's in Gator stuff. You know why? Because that's what they gave him. He's not going out and buying what all you think he's going out and buying. Like, that's not happening. There's a bigger goal for him, right? He's smart with his money. I think most of these guys probably fit that description. I mean, we heard about Bryce Young. Well, they were talking about he played it down. He's got $1 million. Well, he just won a Heisman. It worked out. It worked out. Kyler Murray went through his senior year with $4.6 million in the bank from a baseball contract. It worked out.
A lot of guys do these things, and I think a lot of it just comes down to the popular stories that sell are the ones like me and Bobby's on draft night, where they're like, "Oh, he just met his dad."
Bobby, if you were being drafted this year, man, you'd have a whole segment.
Bobby Brown, explosive slot receiver, Bobby Brown Jr. is coming in, and let me tell you about his story. His father left him before he was even born, and what he did was when he became great in middle school, he would leave 2 tickets at the counter, and he's done this for
comedy shows everywhere.
For everywhere, expecting for his dad to come in. This is a great story of perseverance. And then why did his dad leave? Was dad killed his dog and he had to run away. So like it's just like the worst stories, without realizing that there's a lot of guys who have both parents. There's a lot of guys who, like, my son won't have the same stories as me.
You know what I think we need to do? I'm dead serious about this.
Find the positive, great stories that won't go viral. Because they're just really good kids.
We need that. But I'd put myself through this too. We need to interview each other. We need to learn. Like I am.
Okay. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, I'm the newest addition to hear you guys.
Dude, I never heard a story about him.
You didn't know that either.
I didn't know he was in the backseat of a.
Oh wow!
I had no idea his dad was a bounty hunter.
Remember when I first met y'all and I said, "Hey, James, did you know that his birthday is today?" And it was your birthday, and you're like, "Yeah, we met. We know each other."
Yeah. Now, some stories like I haven't.
Well, to be fair,
it's not a real good opportunity, like on a sports radio show, to be like, "Yeah." Oh, I mean, I've told the story about when my dad pulled a gun on me.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we need.
My dad almost shot me for using the bathroom.
We should just get 4 microphones and just pick one. All right, today it's Bobby. We're interviewing Bobby, and we like because I got a lot of questions. Bro.
I also have some great questions that I've been making for all of y'all since I've been sitting in the little corner over there.
My story's pretty dope too. I was never in the back seat with a woman in shackles.
Bobby,
well, we can't hear you. He fought somebody that tried to steal your car.
I fought somebody who tried to steal my car and got thrown out of a moving vehicle. We can get into that.
You got thrown out? Oh yeah. See, we got
Miles has temper issues. It's really funny. It's very funny.
A side of Miles that I want to know about. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this. Definitely. I see it in my son. It throws me off. Like, cause like Miles gets really angry at video games.
Those who don't know that Miles and James are related.
Yeah. Miles gets really angry at video games, and I've seen my son beat a kid up, blacked out. Beat his best friend's cousin up over a video game. He kept sniping him. And he told him, he's like, "Stop sniping me." I wouldn't have believed it. But both the parents corroborated the story. They told me that they were like, "Yo, we didn't know Trey had it in him." He's like, "Trey just jumped him. Like, it wouldn't get off."
We got to do this.
The mom was like, "I had to pull him off." I'm like, and again, the messed up part, the part of me that is my father. I didn't like. His mom was just, TJ was like, "Oh my God, he shouldn't be doing this." Everybody's appalled. Me, like, yeah, good job. Like when Trey got in his first fight, remember, I think I talked about it on the show. Like, wait till your dad gets home. Tell your father what you did. Tell him what you just did at school. I'm like, "Well, what did you do, Trey? What the hell? He's a good kid." I got in a fight, Dad. And I'm like, "Well, did you win?" He was like, then he looked, he was like, "Wait a minute, he's not yelling at me." He's like, "Yeah." So, "Well, tell me about the story." So he starts
some popcorn. Hold on.
So he starts telling me the story, and I'm like, "Hold up, wait a minute." I call my dad. I say, "Hey,
I'm gonna put you on speaker."
I said, and Trey's not really sure how this is going yet. I was like, tell your grandfather what you just did." Granddad that gives me money, I got in a fight. You know what my father's first question was?
Did you win?
Did you win? And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, that's my boy." Like, we're congratulating this kid. Like, there's gonna be people in the comments like, "That's what's wrong with black people." Like, no, you got to know how to fight. The only reason he's in public school right now is to learn how to fight and how to handle people.
Bro, I tell people all the time, public school and private school. If you give me the choice, I want my kid to maybe get his butt kicked a couple times instead of coming out of school addicted to very expensive pills.
That part. We'll put him in private school, probably like middle school.
We can deal with fights and weed.
But I need fights.
The expensive stuff, the expensive stuff like that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I don't like. Listen, I'll tell him one day if he goes to. I was like, listen, dog, I'm gonna tell you straight up. You're gonna be around some people that can afford to do some things that we can't afford to do in this house.
Mhm.
Like Fat Joe had to tell his family that we ain't Puffy and Diddy. Like, you can't do what they do. So I'm like, listen, you can hang with these people, but if you find yourself getting addicted to something that we can't afford to pay, that's on you, bro.
That's on you. Like, what? I mean, what? He's gonna start stealing that China you got handed down.
Nah, well, then you got work. And I'm gonna warn him. Listen, if James Coleman Sr. can pull a gun on James Coleman Jr. and James Coleman Jr. can come out okay, trust and believe James Coleman Jr. will pull a gun out on James Coleman III. It's just how we're raised, son.
Not
This is
at
how
Green
we do
Acres.
stuff.
Not at Green Acres.
We're not at Green Acres. No. Not at. It'll be the burner guns that I'll get bequeathed to me.
All right, we gotta get out. Yeah, we got some good content.
I love it,
especially moving forward. Now the football season is about to be done. We'll be back on Friday.
Yep. Yep. I'm making an executive decision right now. Yep, we'll be back.
All right, we'll talk to y'all Friday.